Hello, loves, and welcome to Tea Time with Monica. Today we are talking to one of my good girlfriends, Aquila Mimi Benjamin. Y'all, I've known her for a while. She does some great work, but let me just lay down, some titles so you can know how great my girl is. She is the Chief Operating Officer of Harvest Focus and Vice President of the Ultimate Sacrifice. Also, CEO of Because You Can creative consulting and coaching firm, and creator of Network Your Ass Off and Network Con. Good gosh, girl, that is a mouthful. Yes, honey. Woo, welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, we're going to start today with a quote, and I pulled this from something that I saw on your page, Aquila. It says, "You are your only limit. So why not become limitless?" That is powerful. Now, how does that pertain to you and the work that you do?
So first off, thank you for having me. Can we just talk about how this situation, this is exactly why. Like, for example, when did you start Tea with Monica?
Last year, but I've been doing the Plus Report for a few years now.
Right. So not only did you continue a much needed platform and giving people from all walks of life, entrepreneurs from all different industries and stuff, a platform, it didn't slow you down during the pandemic. If anything, it enhanced it because people were more into virtual. You just kept pushing. So you became limitless. Instead of saying, you know what, y'all, I just need to take a second, which you probably did. Yeah. Instead, you rebranded, because I started to see more and more guests come on the show. I started to see more and more people getting into it. So that literally is what I'm saying. Like, you could have stopped, but why would you stop? Why not keep going? It's about the pivot, and it's about re-strategizing. And that was the whole point of the quote. For example, anybody knows, I talk about this very, very openly. Mm-hmm. I was doing NetworkCon earlier this year. I can't even believe I was doing it this year. I swear this year holds like 5 years in 1 year. So when that kind of like was like, look, you can't do NetworkCon, all of my personal savings, I've lost a lot of money into it. I literally was looking at my pockets like, what the hell am I about to do right now?
What I'm
going to do, because NetworkCon was my life. Like, it was everything. I could not even think about anything else but NetworkCon. So it made me sit back and re-strategize. I'm like, okay, I could let this honestly get me down, or I can pivot. I can figure out, okay, well, that ain't going to work. Right. You can't cry over spilled milk every day, all the time. Every situation, like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure, because we were all experiencing this pandemic. We were all struggling with it, right?
Yeah.
Girl, right. So what I decided to do was, okay, let me not limit myself just to NetworkCon. I literally took a piece of paper and I wrote out all my skills. And I said, well, damn, I got a lot of skills and people still asking me for assistance. So I started my business. Who would have thought that my firm, my creative consulting and coaching firm, would have turned into, like, it went from an idea to, like, you know what, I'm about to just do this. Like, who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the only person that can stop me from doing it. And here I am. And because I started my firm, I hold 2 executive positions in 2 multi-million-dollar companies. It blows my mind. Because it's like, if I would have stopped and let NetworkCon, like the cancellation of NetworkCon, if I would have let that define me, where would I be right now? So that's why you are your only limit. Nobody else had any inclusion in that. It was just me, and how I had to realize what I wanted for myself.
But you've been doing that all along, because Network Your Ass Off came out of you dealing with some, similar issues, right?
Girl, people don't know, I almost quit Network Your Ass Off. So
really?
If you don't know Network Your Ass Off, yes, I don't know. I could tell you the story. I'll keep it brief because it's long as hell. But what happened when Network Your Ass Off? I honestly one day was like, man, I was doing social media correspondence. Shout out to Mickey, who gave me one of my first gigs with District of Curves or whatever.
Hey.
And because the reason I got into social media correspondent is because the plus size industry, influencer industry, was booming.
Wasn't it?
Do you remember when it, like 2015, 14 or whatever, it started to like pick up and pick up and pick up?
Child.
So 17 hit, I said, I want to be a model. Then I'm like, wait a minute, that's a real job. First of all,
Pause. Honey, how you think I got into it? Y'all, so many of us try to get in the plus industry being a model. But then we
hell.
end up doing something else and finding out that's our calling, honey.
Because being a model, first of all, shout out to all the models out there. That is a very serious job.
It really
And
is.
and no shade, but everyone cannot do. I said I'm not doing
It's
it.
honey, it's not shade, it's truth because
True.
we've been down this road where everyone, like you're about to say, can't be a model. That's not your ministry. Did she had to sip the water, y'all. She got to sip the water. Look, it's not everybody's ministry, but you can still be a part of the industry in some way.
You can. And that's why I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be a blogger because I don't enjoy writing.
Mm-hmm.
I said vlogging takes a lot of commitment. Like these are serious jobs. Like these are serious careers. Being a model, being a vlogger, being
Mm-hmm.
being a blogger. And people think it's so easy and it just comes overnight. These people really it's their craft and they work really hard. I said, you know what, this is not my thing. I said, well, maybe I can do social media coverage for plus size events. And honestly, I am glad that I decided to do that because it took off. Because it
Right.
went from plus size events to huge conferences.
Right. Because you
To
went to BeautyCon and everything. I've seen this child everywhere.
girl, I was working, but then when Network Your Ass Off came, because I'm a natural networker. I've been in retail forever. So when you work in retail, you talk to people every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking people what type of business they do. You know that I do a little of this, I do a little of that, and they take 15 minutes to explain that they sell hair, or that they are a makeup artist,
So you
or
don't
I
have
was like,
that
people really,
elevator speech.
but people struggle with, you know, networking. It is such a diluted and lost skill because of
Mm-hmm.
so many different factors. So I
Right.
said, damn, people are probably really missing their opportunities because they don't understand networking. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do an event called Network Your Ass Off. I don't know where the hell it came out. I just was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to teach the fundamentals of networking, because that's
Right.
what Network Your Ass Off. It's a networking workshop that teaches the fundamentals of brand building and networking. And I remember doing it, and people, Monica, people was, oh my gosh, you got the word ass in your event. I was inviting people to be speakers. I can't associate myself with that brand. I mean, like left to right.
Mm-hmm.
And people was talking about it and was like, because it wasn't traditional. It wasn't something where, it was cookie cutter. It was raw. I was telling the
Right.
truth, and I almost gave up. And because I remember I got some feedback from my management crew that I used to be a part of, 3P Consultants. And they called me, they was like, yeah, we got some bad feedback, maybe, of course they never told me to quit, but they definitely was like, maybe we need to kind of go to the drawing board. So I was like, you know what? I'm not helping nobody, because at this point I was begging people, Monica, to come. People don't know, right? Put on
Mm-hmm.
a production, because you've been a part of the District of Curves team forever.
Right.
Put on a production is not for the faint of hearts.
It's not. You're gonna get a lot of no's before you get that good yes.
And people, I mean, I gave away free tickets. At one point I wasn't selling tickets, so I had to make it free. I was like, man, no, but I was like, man, I gotta keep doing this. I gotta keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, when it came to Network Your Ass Off, the position that I'm in now, I met one of the CEOs, because it's co-CEOs, Jasmine Hoyle
Mm-hmm.
and Latamra Davis. They're co-CEOs of Harvest Focus
Mm-hmm.
and co-presidents of the Ultimate Sacrifice. And I met Jasmine in 2017
Mm.
doing social media coverage at the Fashionista Style Expo. And
Wow.
and people don't know this. You're actually the first person I tell this story to,
What?
like, and
I'm
fully.
getting exclusive.
Yeah, so the way I met Jasmine is, people don't know, but I literally had $2 in my pocket when I went to the TCF Style Expo.
What?
So mind you, I already doing network, begging brands to give me clothes and things like that. But the way I presented myself, they was like, yeah, sure. And I remember they had an event there, and I said, damn, I don't have anything to wear and I can't afford it. I went to Jasmine's booth.
Mm.
And I said, hey, I network with her. I said, there's this event. I said, I'll shout you out on my page. I'll shout you out on a TCF Style Expo page if you let me just borrow this dress without a problem. She said, okay. Now, she didn't know that I couldn't afford it, but she don't understand she planted that seed. So her and I stayed connected.
Right.
She came to the Raleigh network your ass off, and then she brought her business partner, Latamra. They drove up from North Carolina to New York to when I did with Full Figure Fashion Week, when I did that ass off with Gwen DeVoe. And they came and they said that Jasmine said the one in Raleigh changed her life. And fast forward 3 years later, now I'm the COO and VP of their company. And that all came from networking.
The power of networking.
The power of networking, because as I learned, but mind you, it wouldn't have came about if I didn't start my business this year. That's why because I originally went in to do social media for them. And then I said, man, Mimi, this is your time, like start marketing your business, start marketing your service. So I came on as a consultant, and then I came on as director for professional development for the company. And here I am, promoted within 90 days. And
you just walked in your purpose. You didn't let anything stop you.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It's like you just had a stepping stone. Each thing that you did was a stepping stone that you just described. Yeah. You networked your own ass off, got the dress, got the connection, kept in contact like you're supposed to.
Come on, Monica.
And then you kept moving up that ladder. So audience, as you see, homegirl know what she's talking about over here.
But think about where you and I met. When I first met you, there was an organization doing an event and you were a speaker and I was a speaker.
Was it the Aries Angels, the models?
Aries Angels.
Aries Angels. I'm sorry for mispronouncing it. Yes, we did meet there first. I remember I was the keynote speaker for them. And that's when we moved along this same path with each other.
And honestly, like even people like women like you, because I'm not going to say this industry is a nice industry. People think, I'm not even gonna get into the tea. I wish I had some real tea or some Henny or something, because let me tell you, it's not a nice industry, and it's really cutthroat. But you do meet amazing people in this industry.
You know what, you have to know how to read people, and that does come with knowing how to network. You do have to know how to read people, because like you said, it is very cutthroat. It's not easy. Everybody's trying to get to the top, and there are some who are not willing to help each other along the way. They're trying to get that quick fix.
Yeah.
But I think what you and I have learned is that, it's like the tortoise and the hare, slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, because you and I, like, we've definitely been in rooms and we've seen the mean girls and things like that, but that never altered our character. We always knew that when we stepped in a room, like, I'm not here to be like you. You're not here to be like me. We could still collaborate, because every industry is oversaturated, and that's what people need to understand. Like, it doesn't matter what, there's no new industry right now. Every industry is oversaturated, but that does not mean that you can't flourish in that industry.
Exactly. Because nobody's going to do anything like you. Like, I'm not going to do what you do like you. You're not going to do what I do like me. But we can still work together. Like, it can work.
Yeah.
Definitely. So let's get more into the art of networking, because we're going to get to the branding and all that. But let's get where you said, like, the art of networking. Like I mentioned the elevator speech and how you saying it's a lost art. So give me some of the basics of networking.
Okay, so the one thing, number one, your biggest foundation when it comes to network is having confidence in your craft, right? Because people can smell someone who lacks confidence a mile away. And not everyone's going to be like you and I and be sweet about it. There are sharks and wolves out there. Right. So the biggest thing, I don't care if you started your business 2 minutes before you stepped into that space, you always speak with confidence.
Right.
And the second thing, so confidence is number one. Take notes, y'all. Write this down. Confidence is number one. The second thing is say hello. Monica.
Nobody wants to speak. Everybody wants to stay in the corner on their phones, sipping a drink. Not even,
like, honestly, yeah, first of all, why y'all going to a networking event or an event and not, girl, that's not here nor there. But I am still getting DMs and inboxes and emails without a greeting. Who are you?
Hello, my name is, I do X, Y, and Z. I would like no introduction.
No.
Because networking doesn't always have to be done in person, especially in this time.
Yeah. It's like right now the pivot. So, Your elevator speech consists of these components. Number one, hello. Introduce yourself. I know that sometimes when you see somebody, you're so excited, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to work with you. I sell this and this and that. Say hello. Hello, my name is Aquila Benjamin. Say what you're, again, people like you and I who have multiple crowns as multi-entrepreneurs, you have to read the space. You have to figure out the space, because I'm not going to go into a space and say, hey, and then list all of these things that I do. I go and I do my research. This networking event is going to help me connect with people and learn about grant writing. So then I would say, hello, my name is Aquila Benjamin. I'm the vice president of the Ultimate Sacrifice. And then I would say what the Ultimate Sacrifice does in a creative way. And then it's the call of action. So again, it's your name, your greeting, your name, your title. Don't forget your title. I'm the CEO. I'm the owner. I'm a brand ambassador for. I am this and that. And then you say something very catchy about your business, or what's going to make you stand out from the next person who's waiting in line to talk to me that sells the exact same product as you. What's going to make you
different? Well, if you're selling product, you should be able to sell you.
And I think that people don't understand, like, right now, money is funny and credit don't be getting it. So people are buying into people. Right? Mm-hmm. They're buying into great customer service. They're buying into enthusiasm. They're buying into packaging. They're buying into branding, marketing, and all those different things. They're going back to basics of what they're buying into. People are not just spending money like they used to. That we're actually paying attention to what we're spending and how we're spending it and who we're spending it with. Right. So you always have to be captivating when you're talking to your audience. That's the number one. Be captivating. What is so different? Because guess what? All these boutiques, they're all buying from the same people, right? But I have done this before. If a person is not presenting themselves well, or they approach me raw, your dress might be $20, but I'm gonna go to the next person who gave me amazing customer service and actually cared about their brand's appearance and how they treated their consumers for $30. Yeah, I buy into quality over quantity any day.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You're right. Right now, we're just thinking, how am I spending my money? Where am I spending who am I investing in? Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. You're right. It's a lost art. And I think people, like, now that we're sitting down, I think people are getting into it. Like, Clubhouse is there now. To me, that's a new form of networking. How do you like that app?
When I got into Clubhouse, so what I learned about Clubhouse, and I was actually talking to Johnny Bailey, who's the DC digital coach. I closed my year with Google, speaking on their platform. Mm-hmm. And he talked about with Clubhouse, and it brought light to me. He said it was an exclusive spot at first. It was very exclusive. It was, invite only. And now that it's become super saturated, some of the rooms are just kind of like every other networking platform. So when I got on there, sometimes I like to go and sit back and listen and observe. That is a great space. Once you can filter through the people that think they know it all, you can really learn a lot. Right. I like gifts, and then I also like to hear people. So, like, instead of reading text and things like that, I'm a very, I like to hear people's voices, their tones, their deliveries, if it's sincere or not, because you can tell that, right? Right. So I love it because it's a learning portal, if anything.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Then you mentioned ending your year with Google and speaking with them. Tell me, how did you get into that?
Oh yeah, so through networking, I'm not gonna lie. So, damn, y'all, I do everything through networking. My network is amazing. Like, the people that I'm connected to, I literally want for nothing. I want for nothing. Anything I want, I know exactly who I can reach out to. Yeah, but it takes a lot to do that. So, what happened was, Brian Oates, who is the creator and founder of Black Speakers Network, he spoke at Google. And what happened was, I asked him, all I did was simply ask, because he's in my network. I say, hey, how did you connect with them at Google? And he literally, he walked me through it. So I applied. And I remember, like, going back and forth with Johnny. He was like, what is your platform? And actually what I loved about it, because if you don't know anything about the DC Digital Coaches program, it provides Google Digital Coach, period. It's not just DC, but they have them all over. But that program provides resources and knowledge for Black and brown entrepreneurs.
Right.
So they give a platform for us to tell our stories, to talk about our brands, to talk about how we're changing the world, and it's only for Black and brown.
Right.
So I submitted to them. I was scared as hell submitting Network Your Ass Off, because
Really?
I just had someone tell me that their brand can't, do that. And they was like, let's go for it, because they understood the mission. They understood that networking is a lost art. They understand that people are literally missing opportunities because they don't understand the dynamics of networking or the culture that it really is supposed to create. Because networking is supposed to create collaboration over competition. But we're so brainwashed that we don't understand that, because I have a lot of people that reach out to me now that I tried to collaborate with then. Sips tea.
Back then you didn't know me. Now I'm hot. Y'all all on me.
I
know that's right, because I was like, my girl's doing it big. Go working it out. Oh my gosh. So now we're gonna get to what now is with your Because You Can consulting and coaching firm. It's the beginning of the year. We've been through this pandemic. So many people have had to pivot, think of different ways to make money, because unfortunately jobs have been lost, or you've been laid off in any capacity, just trying to figure out how to make it. Or this has just been your dream, and now you've had time to sit down and actually do things.
Yeah.
What do we need to think about when we're just starting out about branding and, getting into that? Because you have some great services that I think people need to come to you for. So outline some of what your services are to help people with that branding.
So one of my clients today, Kelly's Closet, which is that's my sister. But with her brand, she has the largest e-commerce plus size lingerie company, right? So I helped her. I understand marketing. Like right now, brand ambassadors. I can help you create your tailored brand ambassador program for your company. I don't care how small or big it is, right? Because with her, what we did is we went in there, we re-strategized, we rebranded, and we created a program that's going to parallel to her brand. She just announced today that she doubled her 2019 sales revenue during the pandemic.
What?
And
honey, because she had lingerie. People was trying to get that thing in.
They was home. They was home. Why not?
Get it in, and you got to spice it up. So hey.
Right. So what we had to do was, I said, let's go to the drawing board. So we created her brand ambassador program, which is honestly is the new wave of retail marketing. It is, like, whether you want to realize it or not. Influencers, brand ambassadors, affiliate programs, all those different things. So that's one service that I offer. No matter how small or big your brand is, you need brand ambassadors. If you're selling a product, you need brand ambassadors. You need people who's going to tell the world outside of you how great your products are, your apparel. So that's one service that I offer. I offer the identity program. That's my signature program, because with that program, I help people find their identities. And no, I'm not telling you to I'm not trying to tell you what your business should be. I'm telling you how to market your business, how to find your what's it called? Your target audience, how to come up with strategic planning, how to map out your quarters, how to rebrand your products and your pages and your platforms and stuff like that. So the identity program is really for people who are selling a service or a product and or products. And it just really makes you dive deep, do a deep dive, and really understand what's the identity of your brand. Because your brand is special. So let's find out the identity so you can better market your brand. And then we have the rebrand like a boss. That's for people who are like you and I, who are influential, who are media driven, or who needs more media coverage,
Right.
Who need people who are you want to know how to network better, and as a CEO, as a boss, as an influencer,
Right.
that really helps you like rebrand your personal brand and market it better and get more connections that way.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I have so many different services. It's not even funny. I'm also even trying to come up with a young moguls program
Oh, that would
where
be nice.
so today I was even first of all, Latamara and Jasmine are amazing, two amazing Black women who own the largest mental health company in North Carolina, and they both have children who are already enrolled in this program. And just kind of like, I'm thinking like, maybe I should make this an academy. So, you know, and I don't have to move in silence, because what's for me is going to be for me. So just know that the Young Moguls program is getting tailored and it's happening. But they gave me a lot of feedback, so that's definitely happening. And right now those, and then of course the brand audit. If you can't afford the services but you need some type of start, that is my that's my least inexpensive what's it called, service. So if you just want an overview of the things that you want to change, and you can come up with your own action plans and stuff, I can give you from a consumer standpoint and from a brand strategist standpoint. So those are the services that I offer, and then there will be more for next year.
Yeah. So that it looks like you have something for everybody. Like if you're just starting, if you're already there, you need to like just redo everything. You got a little something for everybody, because at the beginning of the year, or even at the end of the, when you're coming to the end of the year, you're thinking about these things. How are we going to get better? And honestly, if you're an entrepreneur, this is something that you think about daily, constantly. How do I get better? What do I need to change? What do I need to bump up on? What do I need to let go of? Because sometimes you got to let go, right?
Hun. Girl.
And take a pause there.
Let it go. It ain't serving you. Let it go, or at least rebrand. At least go to the okay. Let me, you know what? Let me figure this out, because this didn't help. So what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do better? What are my areas of opportunity? You know, how can I advance in this? This is obviously not working for me. There's nothing wrong with rebranding. I have rebranded Network Your Ass Off 4 times. 4 times. So just don't be so hard on yourself. Sometimes it's not about giving up. It's just about taking a second and then coming back to the drawing board. How can I rebrand this?
Yeah. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of businesses get overwhelmed at times.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of entrepreneurs who've been in the business for a while saying, you know, on your 5th year, that's when you really figure out who you are.
Honey.
Because it takes about 5 years to really figure you out. And then within those 5 years, how many times have you possibly thought about rebranding, quitting, or figuring out what's going to work best for you? And that can be hard, right?
Yeah. It's actually pretty annoying. Like, it's like, damn, I can't get this right. I can't get this right. I thought I was going to be a district manager for a thriving company that has no stores now. But like, I thought I was going to be a district manager. That was my career. That was my path that I really wanted to really. Can you imagine that?
I can't imagine you too much for that.
But I love retail, and that's where I learned all of my gift with gab. That's where I learned my networking. So let me tell y'all something. Start somewhere, but you can go other places. But I also know amazing district managers that some of them are making close to 6 figures. Right. So like, you know, but I knew that wasn't my calling. So right. I said, you know what? Let me step back. And every time I step back, Reggie, we know Reggie. Let me tell you about Reggie.
Reggie is as if audience. Now I've interviewed Reggie on Tea Time with Monica. If y'all don't know Reggie, I ain't gonna let him go, because he belongs to me and everybody else that has worked with him. But Reggie, that's our homie.
Let me tell you, and Reggie is one of my biggest. He influences me so much and inspires me so much, because I don't call a lot of people my mentors, right? I don't do that. But I remember him and I working at the same place, and I came back to the company. I remember being in. We was in a small. It was an office, but it looked like a closet. And I remember crying. I said, I don't want to do this no more. I said, I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to do this no more. This was in, goddamn, I want to say 2015 maybe. And he just was like, I just remember his face. He said, I just want you to know, I'm very proud of you, but you about to be real uncomfortable for a long time. And I didn't understand. He was like, you about to be in some uncomfortable situation. He said, but when you're uncomfortable, that's when you know you're elevating. And every time I feel uncomfortable, I think about him and him telling me that. And it also brings me, I'm like, damn, all right. And I be saying it, even though I could call him, I'm like, all right, Reggie, let's do this. Because I remember him saying, do what you need to do for you.
That's right. He wasn't
And
lying though.
and look, and every time I have an uncomfortable situation or uncomfortable feeling, I take that, I use that to fuel my fire. It's how I know that I'm elevating. Because this elevation is not easy and it's not comfortable.
Honey, you got to get uncomfortable to be comfortable.
You really do. You really do.
You really do.
So people think it's an overnight thing, but it's really not. It's not.
But you're right. I think a lot of people don't understand how they're put in one place to learn certain skills and then to use it somewhere else. Because that's basically with me. You know, I work in the DC political arena. Everything that I do, that schmoozing with people, that being able to talk to people, like you said, kind of, I've worked in retail as well, but the same thing about politics. You got to be able to sell your candidate, your message, whatever it is, you got to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same thing. It's like I was put in one world, and it's not that I don't still love it. I have love for it, you know that. But it also gave me a skill set to do something else. I can
absolutely tap into those skills, tap into those things. Like right now, even though I make amazing money through my brand, this has helped me get into these 2 executive positions and work for, you know, a multi-million-dollar company, because those skills are transferable. And like you said, like you talk so eloquently, so you're able to go into a room and, you know, keep up with the best and have conversations in the fashion, in the political, but guess what? What's going to be the greatest thing about you, Monica, and I'm just saying this because I need the world to understand, your platform is going to just keep growing and growing and growing. And I don't see why this wouldn't be picked up, but you're going to be ready, because you understand that all the skills, even from your 9 to 5, even from your passion, your entrepreneur side, all of those skills are going to kick in place every time you elevate.
Yeah, you're right.
By the way, I do see you on the platform, honey. I don't know what it is, but I see you. You, number one, you are one of the best hosts that I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
No,
you don't understand how that makes me feel, because you know how much I love it. So when I'm saying thank you, it's like, oh my gosh, every time I hear somebody says that, it warms my whole spirit.
Nah, for real.
Because you've seen me host, and it gives me life. And I see that in you when you're helping somebody with their brand, when you're networking, when you're doing so. It's like people don't understand the currency of when you're walking in your purpose.
Come on.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't see that currency, because it's nothing better. And it's like, yeah, I can get paid to do what I love. And that is like everything to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, I had to learn that a lot going through therapy this year. You know, and I heard you mention something about, you know, dealing with mental health. I want you to elaborate on that, because I don't know I know now that people in the pandemic, some people have really realized how much mental health is important, but I still think that it's not where it needs to be. So let's talk about that.
I mean, y'all have to understand, I have bipolar disorder, and I deal with anxiety, and but I don't let it define me. And I think that people need to understand that, number one, it's okay if you're feeling depressed. It's okay if you have these mental disorders. It's okay if you're going to therapy. Those things need to be normalized so we can actually start healing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what people are not understanding. It doesn't equate weakness. It doesn't equate, like, for example, I don't want anybody to have to deal with my bipolar disorder, because no one's perfect. Everyone's dealing with something deep within them, right? So when it comes to me, I tell everybody this. You have to self-soothe. You have to self-care. And self-care is going to therapy. Self-care is realizing and recognizing that you have an issue, but it doesn't have to define you. And self-care and self-soothing is not suppressing it.
Right.
And I think that was the biggest thing this year, because when you're isolated and the world is slowing down and you're able to just kind of catch your breath, you're realizing that you was just on autopilot. You
Child,
wasn't really
just walking around, just floating. What we
zombie,
doing? What we doing?
zombie, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I love about what happened. Like, granted, it's some sad things that happened this year. It's
Terrible.
but what I do love about it is that it made us all sit back and reflect and really tap into the mental health situations and this mental health realization that people are really struggling. And it allowed, even for the company I work for, the company didn't slow down. If anything, it picked up, because more and more people started to realize, look, I need this help.
Right.
Actually, as I'm slowing down, as I'm reflecting on things, I actually am not doing that well. And that's power. Having the power to realize that you need to change, you need to heal, that holds so much. Like, I respect that. And I think that we got to just keep pushing, keep telling our stories, because, you know, depression and my bipolar disorder, that definitely played a factor into the past way that I used to see myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have episodes, I still have, you know, things that I have to cope with and self-soothe and get help for, but I don't let it define me. I don't let it be, the reason why I can't elevate. You're the only reason you can't elevate.
Right. And it goes back to the quote, you're your only limit. So how does the mental health, you know, play in on having your own business and working in all these different capacities?
I have to realize, like, coping mechanisms. So I have to realize when I am burning myself out, when I had too many clients in one day, meditating. I'm not gonna lie, I take the holistic approach full force.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't stop the medication and, you know, therapy and things like that. But the you know, just kind of realizing, like, let me take 5 minutes. Let me take 10 minutes. And recognizing that I'm pushing myself and pushing myself. So I had to find a balance with being an entrepreneur, being an executive, and also realizing that I need to have a balance, you know, with my personal and, you know, just everything. I had to always find a balance. When I need a second, I take a second.
Right.
And I don't anybody else's, you know, oh, well, we got to go, we got to move. I'm going to take a second. You allow me to get a second. So I always take my seconds. I do self-reflection. I realize, am I really anxious, or am I, you know, about to slip into an episode? If I'm about to slip into an episode where sometimes we cannot help, right? If I'm about to slip into an episode and I can catch it, then I definitely meditate. I definitely take a second. I might, one thing I do, and it's going to be so funny, I look at YouTube Saturday Night Live.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny, isn't it?
I will let it play for hours and hours. And for some reason, it helps me. People with anxiety, and they deal with like mania, they look at movies that they've seen over and over again because it soothes you. Because
sure do.
Next.
You know how many times I done seen certain movies just because I know how it's going to be, and it's just going to put me back into the normalness?
Yes. And I do those things, and those are coping mechanisms. So I have my coping mechanisms so I don't burn myself out. And when I do feel burnt out, instead of me keep trying to push like I would try to prove something, I work with dynamic people that if I need a second, they understand. I'm vocal about it. Hey, you guys, I'm not feeling this good this week. I'm still going to get this done, but I need a second. And they respect that. I'm very open and vocal about those things. So that's honestly how I manage it.
And I think it's good that you can be open, because I feel like a lot of people, whether you're in corporate America, whether you're an entrepreneur, no matter what you're doing in life, I think a lot of people feel ashamed about being vocal because they feel like someone's going to use it against them in a negative way.
They're going to use it against you once you pop. So you have to make sure that now granted, you don't, that doesn't mean you got to go into HR and say, hey, you guys, I'm bipolar. You know, those different things, because that's your business. But if you are struggling with something, you definitely should speak up. You definitely be an advocate for yourself.
Right. Definitely. But like I said, I just think people think so negatively that I'm glad you're able to be vocal about it and about your mental health and how you cope with it. And you're still able to be great, because that's what people need to hear. I mean, like I said, 2020 was a trying year. Trying year for everybody on so many different levels, that I think now that we're getting into a new year and we're like, okay, this pandemic got to end, because we are all dealing with pandemic fatigue. And like I said, like, people are dealing with pivoting on their businesses, pivoting on life in general. So knowing that there's someone out there like you, like me, and a whole lot of people we know, that are dealing with how to cope with their mental health and still get the things done that they need to get done for life and feed their spirit and making sure that they're making the money they need to take care of themselves. That's what people need to hear. That's what's inspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got to keep talking loud about it. I mean, I'm not ashamed. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's just a part of life. It's a part of me, and I've got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like what you do with branding and networking and being vocal about your health, I think you could do seminars for colleges. Have you thought about being at at least the HBCUs?
So let me tell you about that. Oh, Monica, you about to make me spill all the tea for
Honey,
real.
I got to get all this good tea.
I guess I could tell you now. So
Mm.
So with Network Your Ass Off, Network Your Ass Off is going to be a college tour next year. And
What?
yeah, you guessed that. You was dead on about that. So I don't know. That's kind of
that was them gifts they said we got in December. Them gifts. That was my gift to sight me and my superpower.
You was dead on, and it's so funny because I even was propositioned with an established university about being a like helping with personable skills, teaching. Mind you, I don't have my degree, so but
a degree don't make you or break you, baby.
Don't get me started. Look, we're not gonna get into that, but let me tell you, they offered me a full ride to their school just so I can teach this course at their school, because they talked to me about the networking and the lost art of networking and the kids not understanding, like it just was a whole situation. So they told me to write the program out, and she's going to push to get it approved. So it's just one of those things that's like, okay, this is really happening. But with Network Your Ass Off, I have 2 schools already down, and I'm looking for 4 more, but I am going to host the Network Your Ass Off workshop at these colleges for these kids to come in and learn. They need to understand networking is a skill that we all need. It's going to help you thrive. So girl, you dead on with that. Look at you.
Yes. But you have to network. If I didn't go and just start talking to people about when I met Mickey didn't know me from Adam. I was a part of his book when he was doing the photos for his book. Mm-hmm. And through there, we just kept communicating and kept started working together. If I didn't continuously talk to him about what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, didn't listen to his advice, because that's also key when you're learning how to network.
Being receptive
of someone else's advice. If I wasn't receptive, then where would I be?
Yeah.
Where would I be? Because people don't understand. Part of that networking is bouncing off of each other and knowing I might need to do some of what that person says and figure out how it works for me.
I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, y'all. It's not everyone's judging you and all those different things. Taking what is it called? Constructive criticism is a thing, but we're so offended these days. We're so offended.
Y'all want a cookie? Want a cookie?
Grow up, boss up. It's okay.
Yeah.
Not necessarily you got to take this person's advice, but at least hear them out, because it might resonate later on.
Yeah, it might. Child, you done dropped I don't know how many gems up on my podcast today, giving all the tea for them to sip. Hope they listen. Yes. So let my audience know before we go. Let my audience know how they can follow you, how they can get your service. I know you got pages on pages that they can follow. Give one today. So give my audience how they can follow you, and then give them just some lasting words.
Okay, so you can go to my Instagram. I love Instagram. It's my favorite social media platform, the fuller side of things. And then in my bio is where you can follow Network Your Ass Off, because you can creative consulting and coaching firm. And then I talk about different things that I got going on. So I always keep everybody abreast. So one thing I'm going to say to you, because I do feel like you're your only limit. I sit back and I really think about, I want you to think about this. I don't know if y'all heard my story. What if I did stop that Network Your Ass Off and didn't have that one in New York? I wouldn't have met Jasmine. I wouldn't have met LaTamara, and I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And I think that people need to understand that those 2 individuals are in my immediate circle. What if I didn't I don't know if you guys know, but I was like I said, 3P consultants with Tree and Velvet and
Yeah.
Mikkel, and these people poured into me so much. What if I didn't listen to the things that they said to me?
Mm.
What if I really just listened and stayed at that job that was stealing my ideas, that looked me over, that didn't want to promote me, that was undercutting me? What if those things, and what I want, your tail, create your platform. I promise you, there's an audience out there for you. There is an audience out there for you. There is an audience out there for you.
Yeah.
Find them, cater to them, build upon them. Don't worry about your cousins, your sister, your brother supporting you. Don't, because you'll go crazy thinking for your immediate circle to pour into you. These people were strangers. Yes, I have a beautiful family, but I used to try to take a lot of friends with me. None of those people are in my life right now. My receptiveness to have people to come in and pour into me got me to where I am now.
Right.
So just understand, get your ass up and network.
I know that's right.
Nothing's going to come to you. Nothing's going to fall on in your lap. You have to literally network your ass off.
I know that's right. Well, audience, she done dropped, like I said, I don't know how many gems. She done put some sugar, tea, little spice in your little work. Listen to this over and over again if you need to, because it's so inspirational. And make sure you contact my girl, Aquila Benjamin, because she's got it all. All
Thank you,
right,
girl.
y'all.
I'm so proud of you,
Yes.
Monica.
I'm proud of you too, baby. That's love, honey. Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you, audience, for listening to another episode of Tea Time with Monica. Bye, love.